Have you ever wondered what happens inside the mind of a narcissist after they discard you? What if I told you there's a way to turn the tables, to make them question their decision, and even crave your presence again? Narcissists thrive on control, admiration, and the power they hold over others. But what happens when that control slips away? What happens when the person they thought they could easily discard becomes someone they can't stop thinking about? This is the ultimate revenge, not through anger or confrontation, but through quiet strength, self-respect, and emotional independence. If you've ever been discarded by a narcissist, this article will reveal the psychological tactics that can drive them crazy and make them want you back. But be warned, this isn't about getting them back for the sake of reconciliation. It's about reclaiming your power and leaving them in a state of confusion and longing. So, grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into the fascinating world of narcissistic behavior and how you can use their own psychology against them. If you find this information helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into relationships, psychology, and personal growth. Narcissists are masters of manipulation. They know how to draw you in, make you feel special, and then slowly chip away at your self-esteem until you're completely under their control. But here's the thing, their power over you isn't real. It's an illusion, a carefully constructed facade designed to keep you hooked. When they discard you, it's not because they've lost interest. It's because they believe they've drained you of everything they need. They move on to their next source of supply, confident that you'll be left broken and desperate for their return. But what if you didn't play by their rules? What if, instead of begging for them to come back, you walked away with your head held high? This is the first step in driving a narcissist crazy. They expect you to chase them, to plead for another chance, to prove your worth. When you don't, it shakes their entire worldview. Suddenly, they're the ones questioning their value, not you. One of the most powerful things you can do after being discarded by a narcissist is to go completely no contact. This means cutting off all communication, no texts, no calls, no social media interactions. Nothing. Narcissists feed off your attention, whether it's positive or negative. By denying them that attention, you're essentially starving them of their lifeblood. At first, they may not react. They might even seem indifferent. But don't be fooled. Inside, they're seething. They can't stand the thought of someone moving on without them, especially someone they considered beneath them. Your silence sends a clear message. You don't need them. And for a narcissist, that's the ultimate insult. Another way to drive a narcissist crazy is to focus on your own happiness and success. Narcissists thrive on making others feel small, so when they see you thriving without them, it's a direct blow to their ego. Start pursuing your passions, set new goals, and surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you. When a narcissist sees you living your best life, they can't help but wonder why you're not miserable without them. They'll start to question whether they were ever as important to you as they thought. This uncertainty eats away at them, and before long, they'll be desperate to regain the control they once had over you. It's important to remember that narcissists are deeply insecure individuals. Their grandiosity and arrogance are just masks they wear to hide their true selves. When you refuse to engage with them, when you show them that you're perfectly fine without them, you're exposing their insecurities in a way they can't ignore. They'll try to bait you into responding, whether it's through guilt-tripping, love-bombing, or even outright insults. But if you stay strong and maintain your silence, you'll be sending a powerful message. You're no longer under their spell. One of the most fascinating aspects of narcissistic behavior is their need for validation. They constantly seek approval and admiration from others to prop up their fragile self-esteem. When you stop giving them that validation, it creates a void they can't fill. They'll start to miss the attention you once gave them, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it back. This is when they might try to hoover you back into their life. Hoovering is a tactic narcissists use to suck you back in after they've discarded you. They might send you a heartfelt apology, promise to change, or even try to make you jealous by flaunting a new relationship. But don't fall for it. It's all a game. And the only way to win is to refuse to play. As time goes on, the narcissist's frustration will grow. They'll start to realize that their usual tactics aren't working. And that's when they'll really start to unravel. They might become more aggressive in their attempts to get your attention, or they might try to smear your reputation to others. But no matter what they do, the key is to stay calm and composed. Remember, their behavior is a reflection of their own insecurities, not your worth. By maintaining your dignity and refusing to engage, you're showing them that you're stronger than they ever gave you credit for. It's also worth noting that narcissists are highly competitive. They can't stand the thought of someone else being happier or more successful than they are. So when they see you moving on and thriving, it triggers their competitive nature. They'll want to prove that they're still the best, that they're still in control. But the more they try to compete with you, the more they'll realize that they've lost. You've moved on, and there's nothing they can do to change that. This realization is what drives them crazy. They'll want you back not because they love you, but because they can't stand the thought of you being happy without them. Another important aspect to consider is the concept of supply. Narcissists need a constant supply of attention, admiration, and validation to feel good about themselves. When you cut off their supply, they're left scrambling to find a new source. But here's the thing, no one can replace you. You were unique in the way you provided for their needs. And no matter how hard they try, they'll never find someone who can fill that void. This is why they'll eventually come crawling back. They'll realize that they made a mistake in discarding you, and they'll do whatever it takes to get you back under their control. But by this point you'll have moved on. You'll have found your own happiness, and you won't need them anymore. It's also important to recognize that narcissists are experts at playing the victim. They'll twist the narrative to make it seem like they're the ones who were wronged. And they'll use this to manipulate you into feeling guilty. But don't fall for it. Remember, you're not responsible for their happiness or their actions. You have every right to walk away from a toxic relationship and focus on your own well-being. When you refuse to play the victim, you're taking away one of their most powerful tools. They'll be left with nothing but their own insecurities. And that's when they'll truly start to unravel. As you continue to move forward with your life, you'll start to notice something interesting. The less you care about the narcissist, the more they'll care about you. It's a strange paradox, but it's one that's rooted in their need for control. They can't stand the thought of someone being indifferent to them. So they'll do whatever it takes to regain your attention. But by this point, you'll have already won. You'll have reclaimed your power, and you'll be living a life that's free from their manipulation. And that's the best revenge of all. In the end, the key to driving a narcissist crazy after they discard you is to focus on yourself. Don't waste your energy trying to get revenge or make them regret their decision. Instead, use that energy to build a life that's fulfilling and meaningful. When you do that, you'll not only drive the narcissist crazy, but you'll also find a sense of peace and happiness that no one can take away from you. So take a deep breath, let go of the past, and start living your best life. The narcissist may try to come back, but by then, you'll be long gone. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on relationships, psychology, and personal growth. Remember, you are stronger than you think, and you deserve to be happy. Don't let anyone, especially a narcissist, take that away from you.